Today, we are joined by two women who had a vision and then they totally ran with it. Zoe and Danielle are the powerhouse duo behind the Bodhi Club, a female-focused wellness space. It's not just a gym, not just a Pilates studio. It's a space that honours everything from strength training to sisterhood.
As mums themselves, they totally get the juggle, the hustle, and the absolute need for a space where women can reconnect with their bodies, their breath, and maybe even finish a coffee while it's still hot. And plot twist, they're also our wonderful Series 1 sponsors. So a huge warm welcome to the gorgeous Zoe and Danielle!
Thank you.
Welcome. Firstly, I mean, so gorgeous. And like we all got the memo, but we didn't even talk about clothes. And we got the autumnal
vibes.
Yeah. Before we kind of hear the incredible journey of the two of you, can we just say, and this comes from me, and I know I can speak on behalf of you here. Thank you both. The Body has meant so much more to me than just a gym. It's the whole reason why this pod started, because it's where I met Michelle. But I was moved from Ireland, from London. I didn't know anybody. And my mum tribe, who are the most amazing group in the world, I met at a pregnancy class that I did in Body. And then we kept on and did the Mama Bod squad. I've done PT, I do Pilates. Like, I hope you know the impact it has. It's not just a gym, it is a community, and I hope you feel that every day.
Yeah,
I think we definitely do.
I think because that's how we started.
We met through that. Mama Bod Squad was there before Body was. I think sometimes you do forget almost where it came from, but I actually was I ran a Mama Bod Squad the other day, and one of the mums actually told me that Mama Bod Squad was on her vision board when she was struggling with infertility.
No way.
And she was like, she literally printed out a picture from Instagram, put it on her vision board, and I welled up because I was like, God, didn't even think that, you can't imagine that kind of thing being in somebody's mind of that's what I want to do when I get pregnant. That's my vision. And stuff like that then hits home and you're like, oh God, that's actually so lovely.
Yeah. But when Michelle and I did an episode around baby loss and infertility, I was really moved when you talked about, we talked about recovery and how it helps, and your favourite place to go was the barn. Yeah. And you would talk to other women there about these experiences.
It's because it's so open there, and everyone it's very chill. There's no airs and graces about that building. It's just, but everyone is open to sharing, and I don't know what it is about
It's
there.
very safe. I mean, so much so that, we overshared. We would be doing PT. We need a pot. I think it was Heather who might have said we were doing PT laughing, and we were telling all these stories, and someone was like, "You two should do a pod."
I do think if the walls had ears in that barn, some of the conversations that go on in there, it is amazing. But that's exactly what we want.
How did it start? I mean, Zoe, you came from recruitment. You moved to Texas. What brought you this idea of starting that, and I suppose and actually delivering it, because there's a big thing in saying and a completely different thing to do.
So I would say it happened very organically. So as you say, it started in recruitment in Manchester. That was where I met my now husband, moved to Texas for a little bit, where I started a dog walking business called Soul Fetch Houston.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was so lovely. And then we moved back to Manchester, and I didn't go back into recruitment because I was never good at recruitment. And then I worked at a clothing company doing marketing and POS, point of sale, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Again, I just didn't feel very good at it. I felt like my self-esteem was on the floor, couldn't figure out my path. And I just thought at one point, what is it that I actually love and what am I passionate about? And let's try and make that a career. So from there, I trained to be a PT. So did all of my exams, started working at a small PT studio, and then got pregnant with my first Louis. And then I was kind of I'm going to start doing a pregnancy class here. And I'll never forget, the image of the poster that I created, it was like so old school. It was like a Shutterstock image of like a big bump like up close, and like it was blue because it went with like that gym thing. And I did like an Instagram ad, which I'd never done before, and I don't think many people did them then. Yeah. And from that ad, there was 6 girls signed up to it. One was Danielle.
No way.
And you didn't really know anybody then neither, did you?
It had just come about at the perfect time because I'd only moved there and I didn't know anyone. I was like, I need to put myself out here or I'm never going to meet anyone. I'm never going to settle. So when you did that, I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go. And I think it's a good point when you find out you're pregnant. They always say that that's another point where you can actually meet new people because you've got something in common with them automatically. Yeah. So it's like there's something. So we were really lucky with that group because so many were first-time mums.
All of them were. We were all first-time mums. So
all
in the same role.
And you've got a common common theme that you like to exercise, because I felt like sometimes the NCT group was pushed on me. Yeah. And I was a bit unfortunate with my NCT group. That just wasn't anyone I was really vibing with.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question? So you talked about like your self-esteem being at an all-time low. For a lot of people, they would struggle to kind of come out of that. Yeah. Would you feel you were a natural born entrepreneur? You talked about the dog walking, or did you just have to sit down with yourself and be like, I want to be happy, I want to be productive, so I'm just going to have to do something? What drove you to pull yourself out of that self-esteem?
It takes lots of courage.
It does.
I think I was honestly like just deeply unhappy in that job, and I got to a point where I genuinely felt depressed, and like you can't say that lightly, like, but I really just felt like, this isn't for me. I'm not doing well at it. I could, if you're not doing a good job.
Yeah.
I felt like it just wasn't made for me, the way that my brain works. I couldn't keep up. And I just thought, do you know, actually, what always has stuck with me was when I was working at Bruntwood, I was talking to one of the like CEOs there, because I used to work on the reception and do like events and reception work for them back in the day. And I was saying to him, like, how did you get to like where you are? Like, what's the secret? What did you do? And he was like, I think do what you're passionate about and the money will flow. And I was like, right. Definitely. Like, so, and I think that has always just been like, right, if I do what I really love, the money will then come.
And is that how, do you think you two struck such an amazing friendship and business partnership?
This is the thing. I think I did the law, and it's hard because I feel like when you come out of school, it's like, well, what are you going to do? What college? Where are you going? And I just feel at that age, you have no idea what you want to do. But at that point, I was like, right, I'll go to university, did that. And then I was like, I just can't keep studying. I just got so sick of it doing the law exam. So I was like, right, I'm going to just take a break. Went to Badassery for 3 months, live my best life. Was quite good at it. They asked me to stay on and work at the hotel. So I was like, I'll do that, did that. But then I kind of realized as I was doing all that, it's actually, the thing I'm probably better at is like the managing of it all, the organising of it all. Okay. And I think that's where when I moved then to Dublin, I worked in the restaurants in Dublin and I was managing kind of all the catering and all of the staff. And that's where I feel like we work really well together because you have all the ideas, or you come and you're like, let's do this. And I'll be like, okay, well, we'll need to do this, this and this.
And you also like calm me down a bit.
Or like rein you in.
No.
It's like, well, because I'll take a calculated risk, whereas you'll just take the risk and be like, it'll be fine.
Like, let's take all the risk.
Let's just make sure that it will work out if we take this risk, and then we can do it. Okay.
But I think even now Danielle's like, okay.
Like don't do it without talking to me.
But I think you need that. We're the exact same. Like,
wouldn't work with two of you.
No. Like Michelle will be like, oh, let's do it. And then she'll go here, and I'll be like, well, I'll do an Excel sheet for that.
I'll contact this person. I'm going to weigh up the pros and cons. And I'm like, it's going to be fine.
This is exactly it. We're just very yin and yang. And we've been working together 3.5 years. We've never had a single argument. No. We know where our strengths and our weaknesses lie, and that works really well for us.
Completely. And neither one of us are like very confrontational. Like if one of us don't agree with the other, we can like
rationalize
really
what the reason is.
And
you
then
don't.
Be like, okay, like. And we do. I would say all of my strengths, maybe you're not, I don't want to say weaknesses, but in the same, like your strengths and my weaknesses. And I do think that we also have a lot of respect for each other in terms of like, we've got a family, like we've got 3 young kids. We understand if like one of our houses are completely struck down with a bug, all right, like you're not on it this week, like I will pick up the slack on that week. I don't think it would work
if either one of us was child, like didn't have children. Like I think that's such a level playing field.
Because you cannot understand the level of how much your life changes when you have kids until you have kids. And I do think it'd be so hard to work with somebody who didn't have kids because they just wouldn't get it. Like,
and did you feel like, obviously you were doing it for other mums, of course.
Yeah.
But what was driving you? Was there a sense of, because sometimes I definitely felt this identity shift when I had kids.
Usually.
And all of a sudden I took on way more on my plate. And Mark, my partner, was like, I don't understand what you're doing to yourself, but I had to. I needed to feel me again. I needed to feel creative. I needed to be something else than just mum.
Yeah.
Was that a big
100%.
factor for you?
Yeah, I think it was, but probably more so, as you say, if like I felt like there wasn't a place to go for mums. Like I wanted that for me, and it didn't exist. Like even you couldn't really go to like one of the bigger like
Gyms
commercial
with your
gyms
kid,
and
no?
like take them in a like the little carrier, because people would be like, what you do, you're just not allowed. I think health and safety reasons. Things have changed a little bit more now, I think, but then there was just nothing. And I think when that came up, I just had this vision of like, this can be where the mums go.
Yeah.
And then, so Louis was like 1 when I opened that, which was in the January. And then lockdown came in the March.
Yeah, I always
So I'd literally been
forget.
open for like 2 months. And I'll never forget,
Oh,
like,
I joke.
we had the news on, do you know, the speakers, the
Oh,
Bluetooth
yeah,
speakers.
yeah,
And when Boris Johnson said those words of like, we need you to stay home, I had it playing on the speakers, and I was just like, oh my God, like I've just done all of this work. Like me and Harry didn't see each other for like 2 months because I would get in, then I'd put Louis to bed and he'd go out and paint the walls. Like it was just that kind of thing. Like we'd put so much into it, money, everything. And then I was like, well, now I've got to close. And like we didn't know anything about if the government were going to help us. And I had a client, I went in the toilet and I just cried my eyes out. I was like, oh my God, like what am I going to do? It actually makes a bit emotional.
So Danielle came along at what point?
So yeah, sorry, I'll try round this up in a smaller nutshell.
No.
Throughout all this time, Danielle were in and out, like you were training with me, and then you trained with some other
I've always
the trainers.
PT'd there, yeah.
And then you'd had Coco at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, then I had Emmy, and then I think
I'd had Hunter.
You had Hunter, your third, and you were a bit. I remember when you fell pregnant with Hunter, a bit like, oh wow,
it's like hard because it's like when you have kids, it's like, well, I had moved from Ireland to here, kind of given up my job. I was still kind of doing a little bit, but then I was pregnant, and then you had Matilda, my first, and I was like, who am I?
Yeah.
Like this is the thing. I think I found that really hard. It was like, of course I'm mom, and I wanted to be a mom, but I was like, I am more than that, and I am not. Personally, I just wasn't going to be content just to be a stay-at-home mom. I wanted something for myself.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to do something, but it was hard then because obviously COVID happened and I had Coco, and then I did give up work in Ireland because I was like, it's not going to work. I don't know any of the staff as much. I was trying to do it remotely. So I kind of was like, right, I'm going to give that up. Then I think I had Hunter, and we met for a coffee, and you were saying you were going to do it. And I was like, this is actually perfect because I need something for myself. Like I wanted something to use my brain in a different way and not just be mum.
Yeah.
It was actually, we met after I found out I was pregnant with Bella.
Yeah.
Because you'd already had Hunter.
So many kiddies.
So many.
I was literally like,
having a bit of
I was having a breakdown that I was pregnant with Bella because I'd always I'd not planned for 3, and she was a complete surprise. And I know a lot of people are like, surprises don't happen, but she was a genuine surprise.
She's the youngest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So third baby, and Emmy was only 9 months old, and she'd obviously had a lot of health issues, which obviously I'll talk about in a second, but we had a lot on our plate, and I was like, well, who else do I know who has 3 kids who can give me some advice and tell me everything's going to be okay? And I text Danielle, and I was like, can you meet for a coffee? I really need some help.
We need this
only
though,
other
don't
person
we?
who I knew had 3, who could maybe relate. And then we met up, and I was like, and I want to start this reformer Pilates studio upstairs as well. And the investment that I had is kind of fallen through because now I'm pregnant and I think I've got too much on. And I was having a huge then you didn't say anything at the time when we were chatting.
No.
And then you messaged afterwards.
I just was just driving
listening.
home, and I was like, oh, the penny kind of dropped. I was like, maybe this is what I should be doing.
That's exactly what happened. Do you remember?
Is
what happened
it?
too with us? That you get this feeling inside,
Yeah.
don't you? And I think the important thing here as well is sometimes people get that feeling and it's not viable for everyone to be able to run after it, right?
Yeah.
But know that you had no experience in running a gym,
Nope.
but what you did know was you were extremely smart, extremely organized.
Yeah.
You both have a fabulous like aesthetic brand, and I noticed that when you partnered there was a shift.
Yeah.
Both of your like
Danielle is so
but
good at
both
that
of your
stuff.
traits complement each other.
Yeah, 100%.
And that people don't have to go, oh, I can't do that. Sure, I've never run a gym.
No, you can't.
And that's what I've realized in certain times in my life where I've pivoted career. The hardest thing that you do is navigating your insecurities and navigating your self-worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, if you can manage that, you can do fucking anything.
Yeah.
Really.
Even I remember like when Matilda started school, people would ask you like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I don't really know what to say.
I think it's really important that we encourage women when we're saying, oh, I feel bad saying what we do. You own a business, you're a business owner. The biggest CEOs in the world don't necessarily do whatever they are invested in or run the company. They are amazing at running companies.
Yeah.
So you should have your head so high and be like, I'm a
know.
business owner.
Yeah.
I own gyms.
Yeah.
Because there's multiple gyms, ladies.
Yeah.
There's not just one. Like you've actually grown your business.
Yeah.
And so we shouldn't be holding ourselves back on caring what people think or trying to pigeonhole ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I spoke to an accountant recently and he was like, so what am I looking after? And I'm like, well, I have this job and then I'm thinking of setting a business. And as he was talking to me, he was kind of like almost talking me out of it. Like, oh, you and your little project, run on now. And I thought to myself, fuck you.
That is,
And I'm
it
like,
is
you
annoying.
watch me.
Yeah.
You watch, because it's people like you that I'm going to prove wrong. And I may not know what I'm doing, but we'll work it out.
Work it out
Yeah,
along the way.
absolutely.
I think one of the biggest changes that I think lots of my friends who are employed would love to break free. And I mean, I think all of us here have broken free out of the employed world and gone self-employed. And there are pros and cons to both. But it takes a lot of balls and a lot of bravery to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have people sometimes say, like, how did you do that? How did you find the courage to do that? And we talk about that quite a lot in our other podcasts about, like, having the courage to make such big changes like what you ladies have done, like with jobs, with family, with where you live. Like, it is just an in-the-moment type of... what's the word?
Yeah. Like what drives you to
feel
do...
the fear and do it anyway. It's that quote, isn't it? Of like, you do, it is scary. Of course it is. I don't think anybody would quit a stable income and start something completely new, which is uncertain, without that little bit of fear. But I almost just try and think like, and so what? And what then? If it fails, and what then? Okay, well, I have to get another job. And then it'll be okay. Like no matter what, it will work out.
You speak like a true entrepreneur. I heard
I may lose everything I own, but it'll be okay.
But I heard a really famous female CEO. I'm not going to mention her name because she's Irish, and she said that in every meeting, the difference was that she was always like, "Well, why can't you do that? Well, so what? Like, why can't there?" It was just this feel the fear and go anyway. And I think I used to say for years, I'm just not a natural born entrepreneur. Like, I work really hard. I have a really good work ethic. I just realized I didn't have the confidence. I hadn't got there yet in my journey. And then I just turned around and I'm like, hang on, I am so sick of working to blood, sweat and tears for someone else.
Yeah.
And I haven't pivoted fully to doing it for myself, but I want to have that flexibility for my family and for my kids. I want to give everything, but for myself. But obviously going out on your own is risky and you have kids. How do you find, like, what are the challenges with being business owners? I mean, there's
and kind of
kids.
relating to what you were saying at first then of like, obviously when you have kids, it is a bit more of a risk, and how you said you haven't fully pivoted yet, but that is always an option as well. You can go part-time or do something that is a stable income while you like building it up. If you have got something that you're like, it's only me and I need to actually bring in some money, otherwise we are in the shit kind of thing. But like, I actually had a conversation a few weeks ago at the school gates with a dad who was like, so what does your husband do then? And he was like, oh, okay, so like he can support you while you do, like, as if like I don't think I really.
He wasn't like,
I
wow,
don't
fair
think he was
play
really
to you.
trying to. But I think he was
It's
kind of meaning like,
unintentional, yeah.
It
you know,
is.
so at least you've got a backup if this doesn't all work out. You've like had somebody supporting you while you do it. And I was like, no, like when we did the upstairs, that was a huge risk. And Harry had just gone self-employed and had like divided his salary by a lot from what we'd had. I found out I was pregnant. Like, it probably wasn't the best time to be setting up a business, but I was like, I want this more than ever now. Like, I want to make it work more than ever. And me and Harry took a huge step back, and like, it's not something that people share on Instagram. Like, you don't really share your struggles, do you?
No.
All these entrepreneurs, all the people on podcasts typically will be like, it was hard then, but we got through it. And like, look at me now. Like, you typically don't put on Instagram like, God, this month it's been really hard. We're both self-employed, and like, this was a tough month. Like, people don't share the struggle when they're in the struggle.
No.
And people don't want to hear it either, like, which is fine. But I think sometimes you do have to have that like perspective of like, you sometimes do have hard times and hard months to
And I think that's why we set this up, was because I almost felt like a bit of a fraud sometimes, because I was putting stuff up on Instagram, which was true.
Yeah.
Those moments existed, but it wasn't putting the shit ones in between, right? Because I'm like, well, who am I? No one's. But then when I did talk to other parents, they were like, oh, thank God, I'm not the only one. But and that's what drove this. And the same thing when it comes to business, like, we do need to open up that narrative a little bit about how hard it is, what needs to happen. Because like, I was listening to the Diary of a CEO the other day, or read something on his LinkedIn, and I really like him, don't get me wrong, but he was talking about how he admired these founders of one of his companies, because they're in the office till 11 o'clock every night. They're in the office all weekend. That's what we need to see. You know, if anyone asks me work-life balance in an interview one more time, I just say, you're not employed. And I thought to myself, I understand that he's not targeting certain individuals, but saying that, I don't know, it just puts this veil of shame around, okay, I'm a parent. I have 3 kids. You have 6 kids between you.
Yeah.
Like, we have kids. We can't just work until we can put the kids to bed and open up the laptop. And we all know as a parent how draining that is. Like, I don't think I've been physically or mentally pushed to my limits the way I am at the moment. So it's like, let's put our hands up to female entrepreneurs or male parent entrepreneurs. That it is on another level.
It's just a juggle.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to be there. Like, and I think one of the huge advantages and the blessings of being self-employed is you can do the school drop-offs. You can be there. But then you're trying to shove all of your work hours in around the kids, the evenings, the mornings. It's just, but for me, I'm like, I want to be there for the pickups. I want to be there for the drops.
Yeah,
and
that's
to be perfectly honest, there is nobody else. We have no family here. We have no support. So it is me. I am the only one. My husband works full-time and he's traveling. So, but I want to be there. I want to be a present mum. I want to be a full-time mum, but I also want to work and have something else for myself. And it's so hard. It's so mentally draining.
How are you with your own, because you have to be very self-disciplined, because I think to our own detriment sometimes, women can do so much because we're capable of doing so much. So we generally do too much. Yeah. And in order for your own sanity, you have to be able to put some boundaries in place for yourself. And I think for me personally, that's taken me quite a few years, but I'm very, very good at it now. Do you think in order to build the business and open new business, like, how are you both with that, with your own kind of like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. It's me time.
Really bad.
Yeah, I think both of us struggle with that. Like, the business wouldn't be where it is without that, I think. Like, we
well, every spare minute that we have, if we're not with the kids, we're working. Yeah. Because we have 3 children each. So it's like...
It doesn't leave much time, does it?
No, it doesn't. Because even I feel like since the kids I have 2 girls in school, the logistics of like school pickups, activities, the clubs,
travel time here and there.
It's so consuming. So you're literally, when they're in school, we work. Or when we're voice messaging constantly, like... Yeah.
There's often kids screaming in the background.
And I do feel a bit guilty.
And like still going on. We're like, so we've just had this email. And like, it's just, we have a constant stream of communication, don't we really? Like... And
What keeps you going then? What keeps you saying? Because I've had moments where it's been like that and I just go, oh
definitely.
Jesus, something's going to have to give. Oh, just give it up and go back to work. Or how do you get back on track?
I think we both go through those times at different times.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
that is so true, because it's like, I remember probably this time last year, you were like having a total.
I was
just
really struggling.
melty
Yeah.
bit.
Whereas for me, the last like 2-3 months have been, I'm like, I can't do all this anymore.
Yeah.
It's just, but one of us kind of talks the other one off the cliff.
That's
So it's
good.
like,
Yeah.
Partnership.
we've got this,
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
Just
And
like, let's get through this
Yeah.
point and then this will be good. And yeah.
it's not easy
So
though,
sisterhood.
guys.
It's so that we really like do help each other through it. And I think like the thing that I'm really trying to do more in terms of like juggling the kids and the business and boundaries and stuff is like learning the art of like delegation.
Yeah.
You are good
got-
at that.
You've got to do like
Yeah.
this is what we've recently been having like a lot of conversations around is like we actually can't do it all. Like we cannot.
No.
We, like, and why should women have to do it all? Like it's actually so unfair.
It's more empowering to note that than it is to do it all.
Yeah.
To go, what was it? I think I sent it to you. And it was something like, women can do it all, but we don't fucking want to.
that
don't want
is
to
it.
anymore.
Why
I
should
want
we
to give
have
it to you?
Why should we burn ourselves out to
Yeah.
the point of like we literally have nothing left and we're a shell of ourselves because we're being the like mental load, life admin,
So much.
doctor's appointments, also making a wage, also running the home. And the man has continued to really just focus on his job. And like, yes, men do a lot more, or some men do, some men like every family and dynamic is completely different. You can't speak for everyone, can you? But like, I do read a lot of things about how like equality has come about, but really it's meant that women now, they can work and do everything they used to do.
Yeah.
Well, they're
So
doing,
we talk
they
about
are.
this all the
Yeah.
time, being everything to everyone,
Yeah.
and even like, and we're not man bashing here, but even the amount
say
of
that on most
yeah, I know.
We're not bashing
while,
you.
We don't hate men,
but-
while we're drop kicking them when
They
they're
just
down.
can't juggle. Like they
they can't multitask.
Oh, the
can't.
multitasking
Yeah.
is another level. But then we do society feeds the beast a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So like if I go away on a work trip
Yeah.
or a me trip, because I am allowed actually
Yeah.
me time, everyone, including my parents, will text Mark, be like, oh my gosh, you okay?
Yeah.
Can I do anything? Can I do Nobody texts me when Mark's away
Yeah.
traveling all week,
or that
every
you
week.
spend all week getting ready for you being
For you
away.
being away.
Like,
But that
Like,
doesn't
everything's
happen
prepared
if it,
anyway.
yeah. And then I was so happy to hear Mark on a work call once because he was going on saying, oh, I'm babysitting this weekend. I'm babysitting. And this woman went, it's not babysitting when it's your kid.
child.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Parenting. Do you feel the one thing that I do struggle a lot personally, and I don't know if you feel this, is, and I'm trying to get better at it, so if you've any tips, let me know. The more I am taking on, I find it is bleeding into my time with the kids a bit.
It is hard.
Yeah, like not actually physically present, but like mentally being present.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
picking up my phone, be like, okay, just a second, just get,
Yeah.
or
You've
getting like
always
a bit
got something
impatient.
in your mind. Yeah, it's like,
Um,
especially if things are a bit stressful, you get like a bit at the end of your tether, don't you?
Yeah.
So like one thing can make your patience isn't what it would be if you were just a mother. I think.
Well, I find it
like,
hard because
not just a
obviously
mother, but you know
it's
what I mean.
No, we know.
your business. If somebody messages being like, I can't teach tonight because I'm not well, like you have to sort that problem out. Like
Yeah, it's time sensitive.
it's-
Like
everything
you can't
is
be like, I'll
time
deal
sensitive.
with that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not. So it's hard then because then you're like, I have to sort this out, kids. So just give me a few minutes. Or
Yeah.
that is one of the pitfalls.
When we
of-
opened in January and we had real issues because of the snow, like, and we had 7 a.m. classes. So like
Yeah, of course.
people
yeah.
like were ringing and being like, is it open? Like the instructor's not here. And like we're ringing the instructor. Like we had so
While trying to
many
get kids
fires
ready
to
for
fight. Yeah, the kids were all
school.
screaming in the background and you're like, like stuff like that is
So do you just accept, because we had a guest on earlier and she was so wonderful and she could be, because she kept talking about just accept that no one is perfect. There is no
Yeah.
right ways.
It's an
Or do you,
acceptance level.
yeah.
there's no handbook.
Yeah.
Someone saying this is what you should be doing. Everyone is just figuring it out.
yeah.
Do you set boundaries? So I was trying to think about how I could be better. So I was like,
Yeah.
do I have to have my phone on me at all times, or should I
I'm
put it
pretty
away
good
from
at that.
5 till 7?
I'll chuck my phone
Yeah, you are good. At it.
somewhere and I don't give a shit who's blowing my phone up.
Really?
I am doing this with Lenny. Like, back when I was teaching, the thing that used to not annoy me, but I just thought, seriously, you've got 15 minutes, yeah? And there'd be some parents on phones, work calls, talking to, but I've told him to get this. And I just thought, this is one tiny slither of your child's day where they want to see you.
Yeah.
Put your phone down
Yeah.
or leave it in the car. Because if I bring it out of and go and pick Lenny up and I've got it in my pocket, I'll be like this or whatever. So I leave it in the car and I think, right, it's 15 minutes to go and get him from the door, to chat to him about his day, to get him back in the car. And then nighttime, it only stresses me out. If I'm trying to do bath and I'm trying to keep in contact with people, it's me that gets wound up. It's him that I then snap at, and I just think, my phone can fucking wait. The world is not going to stop because I haven't managed to multitask in that tiny bit of bedtime for him.
It's kind of harder when you have a business like yours.
But business like yours who are like relying on an answer, then fine.
Yeah.
But things that can wait, I make them wait.
We try and
I
like
think
not
that's such a
have
good way
phones
to
around
be
the
if you
table. When we
can.
have dinner, we try and have it together
that's good.
as a family. Because I'm like, it's the only time you get to sit down and actually talk and hear about each other. So I'm like, no phones at the table for dinner. That's like one of
we
mine.
need to get
Yeah, it's
better.
really good.
So when it is chaotic and amongst you're saying like every second you're doing something, do you try and carve out time for yourselves? Like what is your self-care regime, or what grounds you the most?
Exercise.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
for
it
both
is.
of us,
Yeah.
And crystals.
Crystals,
Zoe.
meditation, and all of
psychics.
that. Yeah. Do you know what I love all of that, as you know.
Yeah.
And whenever I feel like something's turbulent or I don't know like where the answers are, I will literally get my oracle cards out and I feel like they just give me an answer.
They always do. It's
a
mad.
really good
I
answer.
love that everyone has their thing. There's
yeah.
no like right or wrong. Like you talk about manifestation and I'm like, I want to, I'm just not quite
Just not there on it.
The thing is, though,
you
Like,
like
I'm
you
a
and me
bit
are
like
with
that.
it. Like
I'll dabble, or you'll send me things, and I'll be like, "Oh, that is actually so
it's
true."
like the moon is like doing this at the moment. That's why you're feeling this way.
Yeah.
And
I do believe in the moon. The full
But
moon.
manifestation, you're manifesting every second of your day.
Yeah.
Everyone is a walking, talking manifestation. The difference between the manifestation that I practice is that mine is purposeful and intentional, whereas everyone is constantly creating the life that they live constantly. So you are a manifestation. It's just about manipulation of energy, which you do all the time.
Yeah.
It's just what I then teach people is how to get what you want.
Yeah.
it's that thing of like you speak things into existence, don't you? So like words are spells, like that's why they're called spellings. Like the things that you say, like you speak things into
energy.
existence. So if you're
It's all
talking
energy.
about like negative things and given this negative energy, like I was literally saying this morning, we were talking about like things in business, and I was like, our energy needs to be good on this, like let's raise our vibration and like start thinking positively about everything, because the moment that I think you get yourself in that headspace of like, like not feeling grateful, like, and it's hard, it is hard to remind yourself all the time,
so
I am so grateful, but like you do need to sometimes take a step back and just be like, right, okay, what are the things that I'm grateful for? Because often the things that you're in right now are the things that like when we first started we would have like been amazed to know like where we are now, but you kind of just get used to the daily grind and focus on the problems rather than being like,
and sometimes
actually,
we actually think about everything that we've done, and we don't do that very often. When we do, like, actually we were doing okay, we're doing pretty well.
Oh, you should. You're doing amazing. But I think that's really true, and because you have to keep resetting to that positive mindset, because otherwise you wouldn't keep going.
Yeah.
So if you were to like look back, both of you, to younger versions of yourselves, whether it's you in Texas, whether it's 21-year-old you, or when you just moved, what advice would you give yourselves? I know it's everything in hindsight, but what would you say to that woman?
I think you do just have to put yourself out there, because I think when you do it, good things come. Like if you always are trying to play it safe and just stay in your little bubble, you won't grow. Like
I think doing anything that you do with like authenticity and that passion of whatever you love at the heart will get you so far. I think when I look at, like, as you say, from Texas and everything that I've done from then, the moment that I started like leading with authenticity and just really being who I am and like focusing on that, it all flows.
I think that's so true. And I think if we were to all be really honest with ourselves, well, definitely for me, a lot of what held me back years ago was I whether I wanted to admit it or not, I cared too much about what people thought about me.
Absolutely.
And I
people
was
still
too
do.
worried to take that risk
Yeah.
because I was like, gee, what if everyone laughs at me?
Yeah.
What if I fail? And to your point, that if you are just authentic and you're confident in yourself, then anything can happen. You may not make millions, you don't have to.
No.
Yeah.
But as we always say, like when people go, well, what do you want out of motherloading? We're not here for validation. We're not here for likes,
Yeah.
follows.
Yeah.
We're here, and if two people say, God, I really needed to hear that, our job is
Yeah.
done. Like,
Yeah.
Do you know we actually have like a big poster in the barn? You'll know which one it is. Your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when you are living in that authenticity, like
Mindset.
when you're in that mindset, like you do automatically attract the right people for you.
Yeah.
So like the people who have come to the barn or come to our reformer, like obviously there's lots of competition, there always will be.
Yeah.
But the right people will find us if we are just being true to who we are. And the
you've
same with you
always
guys.
said,
Like,
Yeah.
stay in your lane.
yeah.
Don't worry about
Don't-
everybody else.
yeah.
Stay in your lane. I think that is one thing that it's like
Yeah.
so good.
I like to not look at what other
Yeah.
people are doing
Yeah.
because it stresses
Never
me out. I
positive.
don't like
You
to
don't-
look at
yeah.
when I was like doing PT and I would I didn't unfollow other PTs, but I'd just like like mute them so I couldn't see it.
You
I
said
did the
that.
same
feeling
thing.
You
like
said
the
that.
pressure of
My friend, she reads an awful lot, and she'd be like, "Have you read this or have you heard of this person?" And you'll really like this girl. She's written a book about manifestation because I've got about 10,000 books on the go that I'm writing myself. And I was like, as much as I like and I support other women, other professions and talents galore, I like to know what my own. What are my opinions?
Yeah, what do
so
I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was like, I'll lend you the book. And I'm like, thanks, but I don't want to read it because then that's going to go into my subconscious and I'll be like, is that my belief or a belief that I've read?
Yeah.
So I like to just stay in my own brain and like, well done everyone, like crack on, doing amazing. I want to know what my stuff is.
It is really important because we have the teenagers on, and comparison
Yeah.
is a real problem right now because
Yeah.
of social media and everything else.
Yeah.
And actually, you're not rudely muting people, you're just making space for your
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
kind
your
of
own
before you get
creativity.
lost in like should we be doing that? Like, they've
Yeah.
done a reel on this or they're doing this event, should we be doing that? Like rather than being like, what do we want to do and what do we think like our community would like?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
would our clients want? And I think if you just are able to drown out that noise of the competition and what everybody else is doing, you actually are so much happier and you do
You're
so much
making
better.
decisions based on what you feel is
Yeah.
good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going back to the vibe attracts your tribe thing I meant to ask before, something that another friend of mine has, me and her chat quite a lot, Lucy who comes to the bar. We have these kind of conversations a lot in regards to, if you want to be an entrepreneur, surround yourself with entrepreneurs. If you want to break out of your comfort zone and do something totally random, speak to people who've broken out the comfort zone and do something totally random. Do you two know many other entrepreneurs in your friendship groups? Do you have a lot of people that you know that are doing courageous, bold things?
Not
I know a few.
particularly. You probably know more, yeah.
But in terms of like who you surround yourself with, I actually think the most important thing is their energy of like, if they're positive,
it's integral,
And
isn't it?
supporting you.
supportive people, like have good intentions. If they are
They
just
ground you.
yeah, because like you get different things from different people, don't you? I guess. So there may be people who like, I don't know, are teachers and they haven't ever been an entrepreneur, but they'll have different things to offer you in a friendship. But I think the core of it, of the people you surround yourself with, is like that they've just got a
They're going to build
positive
you up.
mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, you need those people
Yeah.
to build you up, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think the older you get, the more you realize that in your friendships or your family,
Yeah.
and you kind of.
Yeah.
And the more cutthroat I am with, like, if you're not a positive person, I'm not asked.
Yeah.
And so obviously we're talking about entrepreneurs, and we're not suggesting that like everybody has to be an entrepreneur. Right?
Yeah.
But you see so many mums and females coming through the gym. What is there a piece of advice you would give a mum that just feels like she's lost her spark a bit?
Go to the body bar.
It does come back. Like there's that thing of the flamingos, they lose the pink, don't they? They go grey when they've had their babies, and then it does come back because it gives so much to the children
Yeah.
in those early days,
Yeah.
those early years. My God, like there's that saying, I feel like I'm just a walking cliche, like telling you all these quotes, but like I do live by them, and it's that this too shall pass. That's like an NCT thing, isn't it? Like
it's helped
all
me a
those
number of
tough
times.
like,
this will pass, Michelle.
when you're not like getting any sleep during the night, or like you've got mastitis or any of those things, when you feel like a little bit lost, like it will pass. Like you'll get your
Everything
pink
is a
back.
phase, but when you're in it, it's not easy.
No.
You think
And
it's
I
gonna
always
be
say
forever?
to people, like, do you remember the amount of times I used to come to the barn and, you know, I struggled after Sebi. I had such a seamless experience after my first. I just wasn't prepared for how I would feel, the turbulence in my second. And one thing that I realized was so important was it is okay to say I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And I would say to any mum who's feeling a bit lost, you have every right to do something that makes you happy.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
whether it be when I was ready, like I went to a festival, or I went to Ibiza with my friends, and yes, was there judging eyes going, isn't your baby only 5 months? And I was pumping and tumping, but that's what I needed.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what I needed to not feel so lost.
Yeah.
And communities of other mums too,
Yeah.
like that.
I think that's what the gym was for me. It was like, it's that 1 hour a week that was like for me, because you spend so much time doing everything for everybody else. That's just some time in the week that is actually where you're putting yourself first.
Yeah, it's
that's
like
such a
dedicated
good
to
place
you.
to start.
And like, I guess at Bodhi, that it's other mums typically, and I can think of so many times when mums have turned up and cried because they're so tired. And actually all they needed to do was just get out the house, and it's not really about the workout. They might lift a couple weights, but it's not really about the workout. It's about being around other people, getting out of the house with the baby. And I have been there in the barn crying with my baby as well. Like I remember when we did Pilates downstairs on the mats, we had an instructor came, and like lying there with the doona, and like I was meant to be doing the exercise. I was like pushing her back and forth and thinking, I could literally fall asleep on this mat right now. Like but it was just like getting out the house and having conversations with it, and even just being able to be like, I've had a really bad night's sleep last night, and somebody being like, you all
That's
right?
why
Like,
it's so wonderful that this it's a haven, it's a sanctuary for women, and with all the women that also work within the barn, because you've got all sorts going on upstairs as well, all female led. And when I was going through that miscarriage, the first miscarriage, I think it was, and I came to work, I think I took a day off, but then came back in the next day, and my clients helped me loads just by talking to me. Sasha upstairs was like, come and use the infrared. And I was like, it was just like I was part of the most beautiful, welcoming, supportive village. And I often say, you know, we don't have these villages anymore. You know, it used to take a village to raise children, and now we don't have them, but we actually do if you know where to go, and you know where to look, and you know who to reach out to. And your barn is just one of those places that literally was very, very special to me.
Yeah. Oh, you're making me feel so emotional now, to both of us. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. And I think people will get so much. People will know you personally. People will know the barn, but people who don't will
check it out.
Yeah, but also anyone who's listening from Ireland, hopefully, Danielle from the Irish. That how it is hard being a mum and an entrepreneur, and finding your way. And both of you just went multiple different paths because you just wanted to find where your niche was. And even doing that takes shitloads of guts, doesn't it? And now you're here running a business and looking to potentially expand.
Again,
always.
While managing three
what's next?
bloody 3 kids each. So well done, you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, ladies. We love you.
Thank you.